From the swamp to the high ground. Leadership in troubled times. There can be no doubt that we're living in turbulent and troubled times. Constant change is not only affecting us on a personal level, but also having a profound effect in the workplace. What this means is that exercising leadership is more of a challenge than it has ever been. It can be hard to orientate yourself when familiar landmarks are disappearing or being replaced, and even harder to work out which way you should be going. Huge amounts of data might be available to influence decisions, but it doesn't always help, and the 24/7 social media overload can sometimes shift the ground under your feet before you even know where you are. It's hard to keep up. Competition and economic pressures are making everyone move faster, with organizations and priorities changing shape rapidly. As renowned academic and author Bob Johansen says, if you are not confused about what's going on, it's because you aren't paying attention. To describe the messy reality of the situation leaders are now in, Christopher Paparoni uses the metaphor of the current world of work being like a swamp, like a bubbling, muddy mess. So, what's it like in the swamp? Volatile, uncertain, complex and ambiguous. Christopher Paparoni refers to it as VUCA. In the swamp, nothing stays still. It's a volatile environment in which it's hard to find any firm ground for making decisions. In the swamp, the way forwards is uncertain. There are no obvious ways out, at least none that you feel 100% confident about. In the swamp, the work landscape is complex. It's not that easy to identify problems, let alone solve them. In the swamp, you'll get a lot of advice, but you can end up with more questions than answers, and the feeling that it is all a bit ambiguous. In the swamp, leaders must learn to be skilled at dealing with situations that are volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. VUCA. In the swamp, maps don't help. You need to develop new skills. Start by doing something, just to get yourself moving. Experiment. If you stand still, there's a real risk you will sink. Think strategically. Be agile. Stride confidently into the swamp. You may have to backtrack sometimes. Don't be a slave to the corporate strategy if it plainly isn't working. Trust your moral compass and develop strategic agility. What a number of commentators like Bob Johansen and Christopher Paparoni are saying is that to meet the new challenges of this messy, swampy reality, you need to be flexible and have an adaptable and nimble mindset. Find ways of doing things differently and coping with uncertainty. Listen to all voices and reflect, research, and test your ideas in action. You should also be careful about falling into the trap of thinking that you are the fount of all wisdom. Be open to new ideas and seek out new and possibly unexpected experts who might be people you don't agree with or like. They may well understand how to navigate the swamp better than you, particularly if that is where they live. The truth is that the swamp is messy. It's too complicated for one person to navigate well entirely on their own. So how are you going to do that when nothing you have ever done before seems to work anymore? Improve your ability to understand how we know what we know and look for the high ground. Reset the risk button. Be brave. What has worked so well previously may not now. Be willing to change tack. In messy situations, the direct route isn't always right, wise, or possible. And stay fit. According to the experts, that's the best chance you have of getting to the high ground. But however good it feels once you have arrived, all you can afford is a brief round of applause before setting out on the next volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous journey. The answer is to make sure that you use vision, understanding, clarity, and agility to navigate the new swampy world of work.